an awesome week. Yes, and I hope you have been doing what? That's right. I hope you have been taking care of yourself, prioritizing your well-being, and whatever that looks like for you. If that's going to a therapist, if that is what self-care is for you, I hope you have been doing that. If that's taking a walk, if that's just being quiet, if that's writing in your journal, if that's exercising, if that's taking a Care-Cation, whatever that looks like for you, if that's spending more time with God, to align yourself to His word, to let Him know how grateful you are of all He's done for you in this journey and all that He's going to do for you in the future. If that's just telling God, thank you for keeping me in my right mind, keeping me so I don't jump off that cliff, keeping me. If that's just you spending time with God, letting Him know how good He is in this journey just for you, then I hope you have been doing that. Okay? I also hope that you've just been making the best and safest decision for your loved one, because your loved one is your responsibility. So whatever decision you make for your loved one, that's your business. Okay? And I also hope that you've been maintaining your support system, that you have an awesome support system. Maybe you need to reevaluate your support system for this fall season. And I hope they have been able to give you time to take a break, to take a power nap, to step away. If you've been doing those three things, then you are making sure that you're going to keep living in your right mind in this journey, okay? Well, thanks for joining me today right here on We Empower Nation. I have been enjoying broadcasting and just giving you good tips and providing you with some awesome guests to share with you their knowledge and expertise and experiences. And on today, I'm going to give you some tips to help you prepare to take your fall Care-Cation. Okay? Isn't that good? Just like a vacation, just like we're so ready in the spring and summer to get on that plane or get in that car and go somewhere, don't forget about the fall. Hey, the fall is a beautiful season. Yes, the leaves are falling. Hey, it's time to put on those boots and those scarves. Yes, honey. Put on those hats. That's right. So don't forget about also being able and preparing yourself to take a fall Care-Cation. That's what we call our vacations over here and keep living in your right mind for family caregivers and supporters. We call it a Care-Cation. So let's jump into some tips for you to prepare for your Care-Cation. And the first tip, I want you to just thank God in yourself for having the wisdom. Yes, for being wise. Yes, for making sure that you're taking care of yourself and that you decided to take a Care-Cation. So praise God and pat yourself on the back to say, hey, I am in my right mind enough to know that it's time for me to take a break and that is okay. That's your number one tip, okay? To just thank God and thank yourself for saying, hey, it's time and it's okay to take a Care-Cation. Isn't that good? The second tip that I want to give you for preparing to take a fall Care-Cation is make sure you just explain briefly to your loved one that you're getting ready to go on a Care-Cation. Let them know what a Care-Cation is. Now, you don't have to go into a whole bunch of details because you don't want to get anyone all emotionally upset or depressed or them thinking that you're going to be gone for such a long time. But just briefly let them know that, hey, I'm getting ready to go on a Care-Cation. I'm getting ready to make sure I'm spending time with myself and taking care of myself so I can continue to take care of you. Okay? So I want you to make sure you have that conversation. And if you are getting ready to hire help If you actually need to reach out and hire someone to come by and stay with your loved one as you prepare to leave for however many days you decide to leave for your Care-Cation, then make sure that you engage that person at least 2 weeks before you go on your Care-Cation, okay? You don't want to introduce anyone new to your loved one at the last minute, okay? That is a bit no-no, especially depending on if they're diagnosed with anything. If they're diagnosed with dementia, that's just going to make them highly confused, okay? They're not going to know who that person is. You're really going to have some stressful times if you decide to do that at the last minute. So I suggest you don't do that. I suggest that you find someone from the church, from the family that you are familiar with, that your loved one knows, and have them to come over and stay for those few days or a week, however long your Care-Cation is. Now, if your loved one is in a home, a memory care home, or is in a living assisted home and they're still mobile, just make sure that your support system is going by to see your loved one, and make sure that you inform the director and all the caregivers and staff at that facility that you're getting ready to go on a Care-Cation. And don't need to inform them by just telling them all your business, but just inform them to let them know, hey, these are the people that's going to be stepping in and coming by to check on my loved one, okay? So communication is key when you're getting ready to go on your Care-Cation. You want everyone to be on the same page. You don't want any surprises, and you don't want anyone to say, well, I didn't know you was getting ready to leave, okay? So make sure you communicate. In addition to that, that means also you need to communicate to your family, to your immediate family, to your siblings. You need to just let them know, hey, I'm getting ready to go on a Care-Cation, getting ready to take care of myself. I'm packing my bags, and I need your help. And ask them, how can you help me? In what capacity can you help me while I am going on this Care-Cation? Okay? Isn't that good? That's good, y'all. Communication is key. It is. Communication is key. When we were taking care of Mom, my oldest brother Terrence, he would go on vacations. He would let me know, and I'll make sure that I'm spending that additional time with Mom. I would take my lunch break sometime and go see Mom in the afternoon, which was really his time when he would go. But because he was on vacation, I would make sure I'll go, remain visible. I'll continue to go in the evenings, which were really my time anyway. But I was making sure that her routine did not change. The people that she was used to seeing, her family, did not change just because we were taking vacations. I thought that that was very important that they allow her to not become stressful, to not become confused, and that in addition, help the staff. You know, she wasn't confused. She wasn't causing them to call me and say, hey, Genea, your mom is confused. Looks like she got off her routine of seeing her family showing up. So we didn't have those particular issues because we communicated and we planned. That is key when you're going on a Care-Cation, okay? The third or fourth item, I don't know where I'm at, bless my heart, is to make sure that even all this communicating and all this planning, that you document the care routine. So if you have a documented care routine, make sure you get that out. Make sure you go over that and make sure you modify it as needed. Because some things may have changed since you created that care routine and that care plan. So you may need to modify that care plan while you're getting ready to go on your Care-Cation. Okay, so make sure you get out that care plan, that care routine that you have documented, and see if you need to modify that. Leave all that information in a binder, including prescriptions, medications, things like emergency contacts, if they're allergic to anything, do's and don'ts, what they like and what they don't like. This may seem like a whole lot. This may seem like, Genea, I'm just going on a Care-Cation, girl. I'm coming back. I understand. But you will be surprised at the things that may happen while you are away. So what I don't want to happen, I don't want you to go on a Care-Cation, and then while you're on your Care-Cation, you get a phone call or you get messages asking you all these questions that you could have prepared and left documented in this binder and communicated before you left. But if you don't do this while you're on your Care-Cation, you're going to get interrupted. And you're going to feel like, man, I thought I was taking a Care-Cation. And here I am trying to see about myself and seeing about my loved one while I am away. And that was not your plan. So it may sound like a lot, but I'm telling you, you must do these things. These are some great tips. In addition to this, let your loved one's primary provider inform them that you're also taking a Care-Cation. And this will really help if you have emergencies where they need to be taken to the emergency room, to the hospital or so forth. Their primary provider would know that, okay, I'm used to seeing Genea, or I'm used to seeing Barbara, but someone else is bringing mom or dad today, and okay, Genea or Barbara, whomever did inform me that you were going to be taking care of your loved one, of your mom or your dad while she's on Care-Cation, okay? So it's just good to have that open communication. And again, it's not to be telling people all your business, all your details, but just to have that open communication on record that, hey, these are the things in place. These are my POA documents, for instance. Hey, this is our policies are in this particular folder. These things need to be discussed. You need to have someone in charge just in case the information is needed, okay? And this is not to stress you out, to say, oh Lord, what's going to happen while I'm on my Care-Cation? No, this is just to help prepare you, okay? The fifth thing that you need to make sure you do is that you set up and you test this before you leave. You make sure that whomever is going to be the caregiver for your loved one, the primary caregiver while you are away, that they have FaceTime on their phone, on their device. And this is very important, you all. You may think, well, everyone should have FaceTime by now on their device, or some type of app, where you can FaceTime with your loved one. But you may find yourself in a stressful situation. You may not think about this at the moment. In that stressful moment, something may happen. In that 911 moment, you may not think about FaceTime, okay? I'm going to give you a prime example. We were coming back from our vacation, and we had a delay. And so we were in the airport in Miami, standing there waiting for our baggages at baggage claim. It was about 2 or 3 ladies over to my left. I can hear them talking on the phone, sounding like they were talking to their mom and to a caregiver. And I kept hearing one of the ladies say, Mom, I'll be home soon. We're getting ready. We're trying to board the plane. We're getting our baggages. I'll be home soon. Everything's going to be okay. And then she was telling the caregiver, give Mom her Ensure. Give her her favorite flavor, get her ready for bed. It's time for bed. And I can hear the frustration. I can hear the concern in her voice, and I can see it all on her face. She started kind of, moving back and forth. And I just kept watching and listening, okay? Some may say, okay, Genea, you was being nosy. No, I have such a passion for caregivers and loved ones that I just always want to help. So in that moment, I say, you know what? They need help. They really need help. So I motioned over to one of the ladies and just said, hey, excuse me. I said, do you all have FaceTime? And she said, yeah, we have FaceTime. I said, tell her to use FaceTime so her mother can see her and she can see her mother and she can see the caregiver. And she said, okay. And so they walked over to the side and got on FaceTime. And it seemed to have calmed down the situation. It seemed to have lessened the stress for the daughter and for the mother that was now on FaceTime. But sometimes you're in the midst of a situation. She's trying to get her bags just like I'm trying to get my luggage. You know, they're trying to get to their flight just like we're trying to get to our flight. And she wasn't really thinking about FaceTime. She was just thinking, hey, the caregiver called me. Mom is upset. I need to try to calm mom down. So as we got our baggages and we headed to the gate, we end up seeing them walking towards the gate as well. And I asked her, you know, how's your mom doing or whatever. She said, thank you so much. And I asked her, I said, you know, your mom, is she sundowning? And she said, yes, she is. She said, I'm going through this with my mom and my dad. And I thought, oh my goodness, you know, to be experiencing this with two parents at the same time, that's a lot. That's a lot on one person, you know, but it looked like and sounded like that she had a good support system. And I just gave her some encouraging words and just pray and believe and hope that she would continue to be successful in her journey. But sometimes we just don't know what to do in that moment. But sometimes when you prepare yourself and plan yourself, it'll help, and it just bring things back to your memory and say, okay, let me use FaceTime. This will be the right opportunity and the right time to use FaceTime. And in all of that, you all, I just got a good feeling, and I felt really good, and I was thankful to God at the same time that I was able to help, because at the end of the day, that's our ultimate call. Excuse me. Maybe y'all didn't see that. But anyway, that's our ultimate call, is to serve. It's to serve people. It's to help people. So I was just happy enough that I was in the right place at the right time. And through all of that, I said, you know what, God? I was the answered prayer for that moment. Because I'm sure, just like I prayed many, many times during my journey and taking care of my mom, that she had also prayed during her journey of her current journey of taking care of her mom and her dad now with dementia. And she prayed for moments like that. And I just believe that I was an answered prayer, that I was right there at the right moment at the right time. And I didn't think twice about helping. I didn't think twice about saying, hey, just use FaceTime. Just use FaceTime. And that helped calm the situation. And I felt good that I was an answered prayer at the right time. Okay? Isn't that good? So make sure you have those apps, and make sure your devices are set up. Go ahead and test it before you leave for your Care-Cation that your FaceTime is working as expected. Make sure you have your Life 360 app installed on your devices, WhatsApp installed on your devices. So make sure all of those things are in place before you take your Care-Cation, okay? In addition to that, make sure your loved one have their favorite items close to them. And again, depending on what they're diagnosed with, what their level of care is, make sure they have their favorite items. It could be a blanket. It could be a magazine. It could be just making sure they're always watching their favorite show during the day. Whatever that is, it could be making sure they're left or they have their favorite snacks and their favorite meals, okay? Because you don't want their routine to change just because you're not there, because that will cause more confusion. And I'm telling you, it doesn't matter if your loved one is diagnosed with dementia or not. Just not having you there makes a big difference, because they're so used to you taking care of them. So make sure everything continues to stay, yes, to stay on schedule as much as possible. That is key, and that will make sure that you also enjoy your Care-Cation, okay? In addition to that, I have several. I think I have about 3 more. I talked about ensuring that there are emergency contacts that's listed. You can place something on the refrigerator, or make sure that information is documented if they're in a facility. Also inform your neighbors. Hopefully you have good neighbors. Also just inform them briefly that you're going on a Care-Cation, okay? And let them know who will be caring for your loved one. Because if your loved one is still mobile and they're still going outside, maybe taking walks or going to the mailbox or things like that, you will want your neighbors to just be looking out. Just in case, they seem to be wandering off. You just want your neighbors to know that, wait a minute, okay, Barbara is on a vacation, Care-Cation. And why is her mom outside walking up and down the street by herself? So things like that, you want to make sure you inform your neighbors, okay? Also, determine, depending on the level of care, determine if respite care is best. Sometimes those that are caring for their loved ones may send their loved ones to respite care. So you can always go to ARP/caregiving, and there are several tips and resources for you to determine if respite care is best for you and your family, okay? Also inform your financial institutions that, hey, you're getting ready to travel, okay? That means your banks, wherever you bank at, inform them, because most of the time we have our notifications set up in case there seems to be some fraudulent activity, but make sure you're doing that for all of your accounts. If you are also a authorized user on your loved one's accounts, make sure they know that you're traveling, that you're getting ready to travel, okay? And make sure you do have those notifications set up in your app, so you are notified for any activities that are not your activities or not your transactions, okay? Also make sure that your caregiver understands the daily routine to follow, that you ask them if they have any questions. Don't just go over the routine with your caregiver, the one that's going to be caring for your loved one. Ask them if they have questions. Ask them to review it ahead of time and let you know, hey, what questions they may have, if they need anything explained to them that they may not understand, okay? This will also lessen any frustration and also make sure that you have an awesome Care-Cation, okay? And at the end of the day, you all, your support system, your family, your caregiver, the staff at the facility, at the end of the day, they all know how to call 911, okay? So without hesitation, you give them that assurance as well, that, hey, if anything happens that is a 911, then call 911. Don't hesitate. Don't think twice. I agree that, hey, if it's a 911, call 911. Okay? So those are some tips for you to help you get ready to prepare for your Care-Cation. I hope that you are planning an awesome trip. Yes, I do. I hope you are taking down these notes. I hope you share this video with someone else. Make sure they #replay. And before we get out of here, I want to make sure that you always tune in to We Empower Nation. Check out the other programs that broadcast every day. They have the We Empower morning show at 7 a.m. Eastern. That is our awesome morning show. Awesome, powerful nuggets that that they are sharing. So make sure you tune in to the We Empower Morning Show every morning at 7 a.m. Eastern. And make sure you come on back over here to Keep Living in Your Right Mind every Saturday at 12 p.m. Eastern to receive more tips to help you keep living in your right mind. And don't forget to reach out to me. Join our group, Keep Living in Your Right Mind, on Facebook, and reach out to me. Let me know the things that you need help with, the assistance that your loved one may need, questions that you may have. Everyone is experiencing this journey in a different way. And so you may have a question that someone else may have but haven't posted yet. So whatever questions you may have, whatever resources you're looking for, come on over to the Keep Living in Your Right Mind Facebook group and let us know. We are here for you, okay? Don't live alone in this journey. We are here to support you. And enjoy yourself on your Care-Cation. Until next time, keep living in your right mind.